You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Our top story tonight, a stabbing in Northport following a kidnapping attempt has left one man dead. That man connected with a different high-profile case. ABC7's Rick Adams gives us some details on that investigation tonight from the Northport Police Department.
Well, police say the stabbing death was in self-defense. The man who was stabbed could possibly be connected to the Natalie Holloway case. Northport police say a woman fought off a kidnapper carrying a knife just before 7 o'clock Wednesday morning as she was getting out of her car outside of her home on Wesley Lane. Police tell us she was able to get the knife from him and stab him several times. His body was found down the road. He would later die at the hospital. We're being told the man who was stabbed is 32-year-old John Ludwig of Port Charlotte, a former boyfriend of the woman.
We're pretty confident that he had some ill intentions here to do at least a kidnapping, if not, what his intentions were after that we may never know, but they certainly did not appear to be good ones.
Ludwig does have a history involving comments relating to the disappearance of Natalie Holloway back in 2005, where he claimed to have cremated her remains. Gabriel Madrigal was friends with Ludwig. He says that Ludwig did have suicidal tendencies.
I'm sorry he died, but there's a God, and if you do things and you think you're going to get away with them, you're not. Because eventually it's going to catch up to you. And one way or another, it's going to catch up to you.
Madrigal tells us he believes there may be somebody else involved with the stabbing death. Police say the woman involved will not be charged.
From all of the information we have so far, this was self-defense, and we do not foresee any charges for her.
And authorities are continuing with their investigation. As soon as we receive more details on this, we'll certainly pass it along to you. Reporting from Northport, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Rick. The former Punta Gorda police officer charged with manslaughter for shooting a woman during a civilian training class will be tried in Charlotte County. Lee Coel's attorney filed for a change of venue 3 times since December. A judge's decision was filed with the courts yesterday denying that request. Cole accidentally shot 73-year-old Mary Knowlton in August of 2015 during a shoot-don't-shoot scenario. He was supposed to have blanks in his gun. It was later learned no one checked to make sure. The police chief was charged with culpable negligence. He was found not guilty, but terminated from his position. In the Northport Police Department, also investigating after an 8-month-old baby was found dead earlier this evening in a Northport home. Police were called to the home on DeGarmo Street at around 6 o'clock this evening. Officers say at this time, their investigation shows that the baby drowned at around 4:30 in the pool at that home. That investigation remains ongoing. New 911 calls from Parkland, Florida paint a picture of the chaotic scene during February's school shooting that left 17 people dead. Today, as ABC's Danya Backus reports, the suspect, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, was formally arraigned on murder charges.
As thousands of students walked out of school in protest of gun violence.
A plea of not guilty shall be entered on the defendant's behalf.
The alleged killer of 17 students and staff at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School came face to face with parents of the victims. Nicholas Cruz, in court, formally arraigned on first-degree murder and attempted murder charges, keeping his head down, surrounded by sheriff deputies.
There's people here, there's people, they're all bleeding, they're gonna die.
Honey, I know. I'm really sorry that you're going through this, but I'm here with you, okay? Stay on the phone.
New dramatic 911 calls were released by the Coral Springs Police Department. The disturbing calls shedding more light on the terror teachers and students faced inside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14th, as authorities say Nicholas Cruz went on a shooting rampage that killed 17 people.
I'm getting a school shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland.
The calls also providing more insight on what teachers did to protect students.
I'm in the classroom, the lights on the door's locked, but a student was shot and went through the door.
The bullet went through the door?
Yes, I have a student down.
And the panic parents felt as they tried to figure out what was going on.
Oh my God, what do I do? How do I find out what's going on with my daughter?
The Broward County State Attorney is seeking the death penalty for Nicholas Cruz. His attorney saying he would plead guilty if the death penalty is off the table. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, students across the country are speaking out on gun violence. At 10 a.m. local time in each time zone, students walked out of class to stand in solidarity with those at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And here on the Suncoast, students also walking out of class today, protesting action demanding stricter gun laws and an end to school massacres.
The change is gonna come, yes it will.
Each school handled these walkouts differently. Some schools working with students to hold a moment of silence for the lives lost. While at Booker High, students went above and beyond the standard 17 minutes protest. One by one, students releasing dove balloons into the sky in memory of each person gunned down exactly 1 month ago.
What do I want to change? I'd like to see more gun reform being passed so that people who have prior history do not have access to those guns.
We are the future. In fact, we are the now. Please do not let anyone make you feel as though because you are young, you do not have much to offer.
On the heels of today's protest, the House of Representatives in Washington passed a bill addressing school security. The school safety bill aims to provide funding for mental health crisis training, anonymous reporting systems, and deterrent measures like metal detectors and locks. Now lawmakers wait to see what is included in the Senate's version. Well, what will come of the parcels of land near Celery Fields Park in East Sarasota has stirred a lot of controversy in the past. Fresh Start, the same group who fought against the debris recycling center that was going to be built there, now asking the community what they'd prefer instead. They received nearly 40 ideas ranging from affordable housing to a park. One of the members of the executive board says they've put their heart into this initiative and want to see it through.
We know that the county has to do something with the land. It's fallow land, it's been empty for a lot of time, they want money. So how they get the money is what we're trying to facilitate. Some kind of businesses, green space, parks, there's a lot of ideas on the table.
Tomorrow, Fresh Start will meet with an advisory panel of architects and planning professionals to look over the proposals and see which ones are most feasible. The county tells us they are looking forward to hearing these ideas. And Sarasota County Commissioners have approved a proposal to extend Legacy Trail. Now it will go to a general vote. The approval of the plan will allow for the acquisition of land and construction of the extension, adding approximately 9 miles north to Payne Park in downtown Sarasota. The Legacy Trail currently runs from the historic train depot in Venice to Culver House Nature Park in Sarasota. The extension will be on the November 6th general election ballot. Well, a chilly night here on the Suncoast. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, it's a great trail, too. I know my parents use it all the time. Biking, 53 degrees right now. If you're going to bike in the morning on that trail, you need to bundle up. Temperatures expected to drop down into the low 40s. Already there at Mayaca City. Just checked on a weather station in Mayaca City. 42 degrees there. It's a little bit warmer right near the coast. That's due to the northwest wind. The north-northwest wind at 7 miles an hour, bringing the effects, at least, of the little warmer water temperature right along the immediate coastline. But that dew point is at 40. When the winds become more northerly overnight and by tomorrow morning, we'll see low temperatures into the mid-40s for the most part, up and down the coast, even into the upper 40s at places like Longboat Key, Venice, all the way down into Manasota Beach. Here's the temperature forecast, and as we see it for tonight, looks like temperatures will be in the 30s over the Panhandle to start the day off. In fact, there's a freeze warning from Gainesville northward. So temperatures here at 7 a.m. 41, but more than likely dropping down to freezing for at least a few hours there, and then we'll warm up tomorrow into the 70s. That's right, into the 70s. We're going to see high temperatures actually in some inland areas of 70s, upper 60s still at the beaches. There's that freeze warning I mentioned basically to the north. That's until 9 a.m. and that includes Levy County northward through Gainesville. Temperatures will be below freezing for a couple of hours. Now these are projected lows. Inland areas will get down into the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. We're already there at Mayaca City at 42. Has to drop a couple more degrees. Will be at 39. Lakewood Ranch 41, 45 in Bradenton, and 48 in Anna Maria. We had a low this morning of 43 degrees at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. I'll let you know when it will warm up, and it will, coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, thanks, Bob. Tonight, our hearts are heavy. A beloved member of our community and our ABC7 family has passed away. Dr. Edward James II dedicated his life to making the Suncoast a better place to live for families now and future generations. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo has a look back at his influential life.
Dr. Edward James dedicated his life to journalism, fighting for equal rights and being a voice for the voiceless. He was part of a family that had a storied history of civil rights activism and spent decades serving as a leader of the African American community. Both personally and professionally, Dr. James helped make the Suncoast a better place. Dr. James had an extensive background in government and public relations. His career included jobs as a columnist and government reporter, as well as a public information officer and deputy chief investigator for the state attorney's office for the 12th Judicial Circuit of Florida. Dr. James joined the ABC7 family back in 1972 as a weekend news anchor. That year, he also started producing and hosting the show Black Almanac.
Good morning. I'm Ed James, and this is Black Almanac.
It is now the longest airing locally produced public affairs program in the southeastern United States. Over the years, Black Almanac helped shed a light on concerns of the African American community, specifically Newtown. Dr. James fought for justice for a mother whose son was killed in an officer-involved shooting. He also invited law enforcement officials, local and state government leaders on the show regularly to get answers on what they were doing for the people in our communities. In 2017, Black Almanac celebrated its 45th anniversary. But it was the work Dr. James did outside the show that also made a lasting difference. Dr. James helped with the desegregation of the Sarasota County Public Library. He also served as a mentor for both adults and young people.
It was Ed James, that impacted my life.
Including the principal of Booker High School, Dr. Rachel Shelley, by helping her graduate college. Dr. James also helped facilitate improvements in the Newtown community, including a new dugout at the Newtown Estates baseball field, so players would be protected from bad weather. That dugout is now dedicated in honor of Dr. James. Dr. James also spent decades working with nonprofit groups, including the NAACP, Coalition of African American Leadership, North Sarasota County Civic League, and many more. Dr. James was honored with a Lifetime Service Award and a Freedom Award by the Sarasota County NAACP. He was also given the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Sarasota African American Chamber of Commerce. Dr. James is survived by his wife Helen and 3 children. He was 78 years old.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Two Navy servicemen have died after their jet crashed off the coast of Florida earlier this evening. The jet was on approach to land at the Naval Air Station when it crashed around 4:30, about a mile east of the runway. The pilot and weapons system officer ejected. The aircraft crew is based out of a Naval Air Station, Oceana, in Virginia. Well, Bob, chilly night here and a little cold in the morning, but the weekend, I'm looking forward to it.
I think a lot of people are. You know, spring break is going on. There are people already here, and they're hoping for some warmer temperatures, and they're in store. We're going to see that by St. Patrick's Day. We'll get lucky and get back into the where we belong, mid-70s. Van Wezel webcam showing the sea state a little disturbed today due to the stronger winds out of the west-northwest. And I got to tell you, that west to northwest wind we've had over the past couple of days causing some problems with the red tide. You know, the red tide forms about 10 to 40 miles offshore, and then it's blown on shore through the winds or through the currents, and that's how we get it here along the beaches. Now, some viewer photos sent in. Turtle Beach, Fred Seeger, nice shot there with the sea oats there in the foreground. Here's a look at the latest red tide. This is the midweek report. It's not the full-blown report, but Mote Marine and the FWC now showing the reds here that you see. That's something to be concerned about. You get into the high categories. That's a big problem here along the west coast of Florida. Right now it's patchy, and that's good. That's a good sign. Notice in Manatee County, nothing going on there, but we're talking high concentrations above 1 million cells per liter, and definitely that kills fish. And there has been a couple of reports of dead fish washing ashore on Minnesota Beach in the last 2 days. Then 14 samples. Last week on Friday, it was up to 24 samples. So the sampling has come down a little bit, but the numbers are going up as far as the concentration goes. 53 right now. The dew point temperature is what's important. It's 40. That's low. And if the winds lessen up, we'll get close to that number across most of the sun coast away from the water. 66 the high today, only well below average, 10 degrees below the average of 76, which is our normal. 43 was the morning start. Dew point temperatures down below freezing in Jacksonville and close to it right there at Tallahassee at 32. These numbers will drop, though, as those northerly winds continue. That drier air moves in, and they'll see freezing temperatures up to our north. Now, as far as the forecast temperatures go, as I mentioned, we'll see them into the low 40s to the mid 40s, and then by 11 o'clock, though, it should be rather nice. We're going to see a little bit better day tomorrow, too. Less wind, lots more sunshine out there. So folks who are spring breaking, hold on. You're going to get even a little warmer on Friday. Temperatures will drop tomorrow night. We'll be down into the 40s again, it looks like, on Friday morning, but then we'll warm up into the mid-70s, I think, as early as Saturday afternoon. Well, that nor'easter is taking off slowly over the northeast. Still some snow flurries lingering behind it as a result of that northwest wind. Now, for us, high pressure is dominating. This front tries to get in. No success in making it through. There'll be an increase in clouds, I think, on Friday night, Saturday morning, but for the most part, that rain staying to our north. Here's the close-up look of the GFS forecast showing fair skies for us. As we push through time, not a lot going on. This front comes down, fades away. Another front is on the way, and it'll be here on Tuesday. That's associated with what could be another nor'easter. But yesterday we were showing a pretty strong nor'easter. Now the European model from run to run is changing again to 2 different low pressure areas. So there's still a lot of uncertainty as to how strong this next one may be as it makes its way to the northeast. We'll see if it's going to be the 4th northeaster in a row for the folks up there. For boaters tomorrow, northeast winds at 15 knots to start the morning off, and then they'll subside somewhat in the midday, 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop out there. The water temperature continues to cool now, 67 degrees. Well, here's the 7-day forecast. I mentioned 70s finally by Friday. St. Patrick's Day looks good, mid to upper 70s, near 80 degrees on Sunday and Monday, and a slight chance for shower comes on the first day of spring, which is due to arrive just after noon on Tuesday. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Bob. It's the end of the road for Toys R Us. The iconic toy retailer says it will close or sell its remaining U.S. stores. The news comes 6 months after Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy and 2 months after announcing plans to close nearly 200 stores. Toys R Us has been in the business for 70 years and at one time was America's leading toy retailer. But the chain has been battered in recent years by big box competitors like Walmart and Target, as well as online giant Amazon. There is a Toys R Us on Cortez Road in Bradenton. A passenger's dog died on a United Airlines flight on Monday after a flight attendant forced the owner to put the pet's carrier in an overhead compartment. United later issuing a statement calling the death a, quote, tragic accident. A spokesperson said the flight attendant should not have made the passenger put the dog in the bin for carry-on bags. United says it is investigating the matter to prevent it from happening again. A report from the U.S. Department of Transportation says 24 animals died on U.S. planes in 2017. 18 of those pets were on United flights. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
New tonight, Kimmel's 2 times the funny. It's making people woozy. First up, the always hilarious Will Forte.
People love it.
And the laughs continue with Vanessa Bayer.
This is why I'm here.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
The Suncoast hot real estate market is in the national spotlight. I'm Joey Panic on Suncoast View. The new DIY network show Buyers Boot Camp features homes from our area. We'll meet the host and hear his tips on how to buy and upgrade properties to make some extra money. Florida Studio Theater takes us back to the birth of rock and roll with a performance from Blue Suede Shoes, plus spring break ideas for the whole family and my delicious blog in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a multimedia journalist who can tell his story on all platforms and meet tight deadlines. Reporting experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply. Now, sports.
Fresh off a second-place finish Sunday in Palm Harbor, Tiger Woods is playing again this week in Orlando. Woods will try to win his 9th Arnold Palmer Invitational this weekend. Many believe he's playing well enough right now to do it. Woods appears to be a real contender for next month's Masters tournament, the first major of the year. And the Baltimore Orioles hosting the New York Yankees today at Ed Smith Stadium. The O's off to a good start in the first inning, but the Yankees tie it up in the second. Baltimore pulls ahead in the 7th. However, to win, your final 4-7 for the Orioles. And time now for our Orioles fan of the day, decked out in Orioles hat and holding a dog up for adoption from the Sarasota County Humane Society. You both hit it out of the park with this one. And don't forget that you can be our next fan of the day. Just go to an Orioles spring training home game, take a selfie, and then send it to us at pics@mysuncoast.com. That's PIX@mysuncoast.com. And we have just one spring training game here on the Suncoast tomorrow. The Rays will host the Twins in Port Charlotte. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Acclaimed British physicist Stephen Hawking has died. Widely considered the world's greatest living scientist, Hawking was known both in scientific circles and popular culture. He worked with fellow physicist Roger Penrose to theorize how space and time began with the Big Bang and will end in black holes. Today, astronauts Peggy Whitson sharing what Hawking meant to the scientific community.
Stephen Hawking was a huge believer in exploration and space, and so he's, I think, inspired a lot of us to think about space in ways that we've never thought about it before.
Hawking lived with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, since 1963. Hawking spent much of his life confined to a wheelchair and relying on a speech synthesizer to speak for him. Stephen Hawking leaves behind 3 children and 3 grandchildren. He was 76 years old. And Bob, I think it's a little safe to say that the world is a little less brilliant without him here.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Just it's beyond that. You can't even put it into words how amazing how he thought well beyond what most humans think.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's pretty unusual. We are looking at some decent weather tomorrow in terms of sunshine. It will be cool though, so bundle the kids up for drop off tomorrow. Temperatures into the upper 30s to low 40s.
All right, thank you so much, Bob. Make sure to bring those coats with you as you head out the door. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.